Hi everyone, welcome to Ageod Civil War 2, and this is tutorial 7 in the basic tutorial series. It is actually be the last tutorial in this series, as we are basically finishing, we're finishing the first tutorial, so that's pretty exciting. So, what's happened? Basically, in the last tutorial, we did take Corinth, and it's now in our hands. In other words, the Union controls it, and you can easily see that now because of it's flying the Union flag. Also, Corinth in this game is an objective city, okay, and we know that because it has a star next to it. So um, basically, as you're playing the game, and you will get into more details of this later, a lot of your strategy will, of course, be to take objective cities, just as it was historically in the American Civil War. And for our purposes, Corinth was an objective city. Um, the final tutorial here talks a little bit about the game mechanics as far as how to win. There are basically two ways to win the game. One is by national morale. So our national morale is 100, and you can see that um, how you can see it's just above the stars here. Interestingly, it also gives us like a little bit more information. It says it's 90 last time, and it changed 10 this time. So now it basically it increased by 10 to 100, and that's actually connected to the first thing I was talking about because Corinth is an objective city, and objective cities are important. And when you're able to take them over, you get a big national morale boost. Um, what is national morale? Basically, at the end of the day, national morale represents a your collective country's will to fight, or basically to continue the war. It has a lot of impact on um, other things as well. In other words, it's not just about winning. If your national morale goes really high, you win, or if your opponent's national morale goes really low, you can also win. But it basically also impacts how well your soldiers are going to fight, and how much you're producing, and basically some other, you could say, game aspects like that. So national morale is very, very important. It's something you're going to want to keep a lot of attention on. So the other way you can win is by collecting what's called victory points, or usually in like our lingo we say VP, and that's right here, in next to the star. And you basically accrue victory points every single turn based on how many strategic and even above that objective cities you control. You'll be spending victory points as you do certain activities and decisions in the game. So victory points, generally, the way I think about it, they kind of represent your country's collective key areas and resources. So as you're controlling certain towns, you're accumulating options through different resources. So it's kind of like a general way the game's able to represent. Oh, if you control a lot of strategic towns, you're going to be able to do more because you can spend those. Um, Finally, you okay. This is kind of what we talked about here about national morale and sudden death. It goes really high or really low. What we can do is F9 again, and if you look at F9, you can basically see kind of more of a summary information of everything we just talked about. One is morale, our morale, and the Confederacy, our opponent's morale. How many victory points we have? We have 24, and we're gaining 7 a turn. The Confederacy has 22, and they're gaining 4 a turn. So, all things being equal, we would be, slowly, you could say, winning the game. And if the game finally ended in, 1865, 1866, we would have more victory points. We would probably say, okay, we won the game. Finally, the objectives in this scenario, Corinth and Memphis. So these are the two key objective cities. This number next to it says 10 and 50. That tells you how much your national morale is going to change by taking those. And yeah, there's a couple other pieces of information like our capital is Washington D.C. The Confederacy lost, how many men they've lost, and how many men we've lost. So yeah, that's the end of this tutorial. The last little screen, it says basically we could continue on and play if we wanted. But actually, I'm not going to do that because there's another tutorial series that I will be beginning, the one that's a bit more advanced. So yeah, thanks for following along in the basic tutorial series. Again, this was the first and the easiest tutorial series in Ageod Civil War II, and really looking forward to the next tutorial and eventually some more complex games later on. All right, see ya.